Hello, and welcome to Learning Excel 2016. My name is Mike Henry, and this is the third video from Chapter 3. In this video, we're going to take what we've been building on with our relative references and our absolute references, and we are going to take them to the next level and start playing with what we call a mixed reference. We're also going to learn one of those really cool keys that helps you out. This key is going to be F4, and we're going to see where that can really help us out when we're working with absolutes and mixed references. I've got a quick set of numbers here, 1 through 9, and basically all I want to do is multiply those numbers times this one here. Now you've seen this example, and you know that we're going to do something like this. We're going to take A1 and we're going to multiply it times this cell right here, which is E1. Now here's the big difference. We're going to use that special key I was telling you about, which is called the F4 key. Now when I hit the F4 key, you'll notice that right here E and 1 instantly got dollar signs on them. So when I hit enter, I'm all set to copy that down. I'm all set as long as I get my target symbol to copy that down, and you can see I go 6, 9, 12. Now this key is a very useful key. It can also be used after the fact from an editing perspective. So I can do this, and I'll do the times this, and I've got that formula in place, and then I go later on, oh, I really would have liked to have dollar signs on this. So I can come back, and as long as my pointer is somewhere in the mix where it's touching either the E or the 1, doesn't matter where, just as long as it's touching one of the two, when I hit F4, it's going to drop my $2 signs in place, and then I can go. Now I want you to see something important about this key. I'm going to come back to here, and I'm going to hit the editing of this, and you'll see I'm in the editing mode of this. This key is a key that is what we call a cycle key. If I hit the key again, something else is going to happen. So when I hit F4, you can see that the dollar sign has disappeared in front of the E, but stayed in front of the 1. If I hit the F4 key again, I cycle to the next where I have a dollar sign in front of the E, but no dollar sign in front of the 1. And then the last time I hit the F4, it removes all the dollar signs. So I'm cycling through the possibilities of where a dollar sign could be. If again I hit it again, you can see the dollar signs pop right back in there, and I'm off and running. So you can see that this is a cycling key. So that is the F4 key. Can be a very useful key for doing what we want. I'm just going to real quick here pull this out and get another set of numbers here. And you can see I've got 1 through 9 on the top, 1 through 9 on the bottom. And we got a basic multiplication table. And you go, wow, Mike, I can do this real good. I can take this and I can go up to B1 and I can multiply that times the A2 right there. I get a 1, and then if I copy this right across like this, oops, obviously I was going the wrong direction, so I'll just do a quick undo, and it'll work much better going in this direction, right? I've got a problem. And if I take any one of my formulas, and like we've learned, we double click it, you can see that it took the B4, so I'm sliding down the B side very nice. The problem is A moved down 2, and now I'm using, excuse me, the A5 moved down nicely, but the B4 is right here, and I'm getting a number that I don't want. I don't want 6. I should have been multiplying by 1. So this is one of those places. We're just going to do a quick undo here. This is one of those places where maybe the B1, I should have had it absoluted, so I absolute that B1 so it's not going to change. And if I pull this down, it looks like it's working great. I double click this. You can see that A9, it moved down to the A9 perfect, and I'm still back on the B1. Well, here's where the problem is. If I take this and copy across, I get the same thing over and over and over again. Again, if I double click on one of these, you can see that I'm still going back to this one here where I really would like to have it on this 8, and the H9 is pulling from here where I really would have liked it to have it stay in the A. So what I'm seeing is I don't want both to change, but I do need one of them to change. So it's very important to understand, we'll just do an undo here and an undo. I do need dollar signs, but I don't need them on both spots. Now as we look at our formula, I always tell people, baby step this. Do one at a time and get a feel for how things are working. So I'm going to remove the dollar signs here. And I go, I need to make some changes here. And I've got my B1 times A1. But the B, when it goes down, we found that when it was going down, it was changing from 1 to 2 to 3. So basically the 1 part I don't want to change. So if I put a dollar sign in front of the 1 part, and we'll try this, and I just copy it down, it's working. And now when I bring this across, you go, it's not working, but it is doing something better. So if I pick one of these and I double click it, you can see that it did change to E1. So we went from B to C to D to E. The E is the correct one. The problem is it didn't stay in the A column. It moved over to the D column, and that's why I've got this big number here. So I'm obviously heading in the right direction. Do a quick undo. So I know my B1 is working. Now I look at the A2 and I go, I'm not sure, do I want which one to do? So if I just throw a dollar sign in there, I'm going to just throw a dollar sign in there. And you can see I've got 1 on the 2 just like I have on the 1. And when I pull this across, you can see that I might have an issue. I might have an issue. Going down, yeah, I definitely have an issue here because things are changing. And if I pick one of these, you can see it's staying with what I want, but it's always staying in the 2 row. It's staying in the 2 row and it's moving over to the D. So obviously I've got some type of a problem here. So I'm going to undo that. And really what I wanted was it to stay in the A, but I was okay not staying in the 2 row but moving to the 3, the 4, and the 5. So I come back here and I'll try this and put just a dollar sign in front of the A. Okay, so now my A should stay the same. That's looking good so far. And I come here, A9, it moved down to A9. Now if I highlight all this and I bring it across, 9 times 9 is 91, and you can double click that and you can see it moved over here to J. The J1 moved over here, so it's moving sideways, but it's always staying on the 1 row, always staying on the 1 row. And the same thing over here with the A10. Now A10 didn't move over through to I, but it did stay in the A row and was allowed to move down to 10. So what we're seeing is we have mixed references here. One is moving in one direction, one is moving in the other direction. We end up with a simple multiplication table. This is a very common thing that you'll find. You'll see that banks might do this with interest rates times principal loan payments. Insurance companies might do it with different types of rates. It's a very useful feature to be able to use your mixed reference. So we took our concept of cell references where we started with the very basic relative reference and we moved into the absolute reference, and now what we've done is we've found the middle ground between the two with what we call a mixed reference, and we're only changing one part of it. Now again, whenever we're using any one of these references, this is when you're using it to copy a formula. If the formula is never going to be copied, there's no reason to worry about putting in dollar signs. But if the formula is going to be copied, using mixed references, absolute references, can save you a tremendous amount of time and energy. We also looked at the F4 key, which helped us out by cycling through and letting us put in our dollar signs.